Hello and welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. I am a big fan of Steamforged Games' Epic Encounters range of D&D 5th edition compatible role-playing game packs. So, whenever they contact me and ask if I would like to receive new packs for review, I'm always interested. And that is why today we are going to be looking at one of the newest additions to the range, Camp of the Bandit Twins. An Epic Encounters box contains pretty much everything you need to create an exciting adventure for your role-playing games. You just need players and an empty slot in your work schedule. And let's be honest, there are times we all wish we could buy a pack containing that stuff too. Each set comes beautifully packaged in good quality boxes with a lovely spot gloss on the lettering. I am a sucker for good box design, and the hot pink lettering with almost monochromatic artwork really does it for me. Sometimes these boxes have images of the miniatures instead of artwork. I'm not sure why, but I always prefer a good bit of art, and this one is particularly nice. If we look at the back of the box, we can see we are getting 18 miniatures. That's 7 unique sculpts, plus a double-sided A2 battle map and an adventure book packed with hints, tips and stats for all the enemies. The enemies in question are bandits, and that's really exciting to me. Bandits and human foes are rather common in adventures, but I don't have a really good selection of them. Kobolds, orcs, goblins, elves, dwarves, undead, you name it, I've got it, but I always seem to struggle when it comes to human adversaries. This box is really going to help with that, although something I really enjoy about Epic Encounters is the unique spins they put on common foes. For example, the Gnoll pack contains some gnolls that could fly, the Orc pack contains some orcs riding polar bears, and so on. The Bandit Twins pack is no different, introducing goat riders and magical earth elementals. The inside of the box is just as nicely presented as the outside. First you have your folded battle map. Under that is the 36-page adventure booklet. Finally you get your tray of 18 miniatures, and the really cool thing here is the tray holds the miniatures securely without gripping them tightly, and it also has a lid to stop anything falling out. That means you can happily store painted miniatures in these trays and they shouldn't come to any harm. The miniatures are the usual Steamforged quality, which means they are pretty darn good. They all have loads of detail and interesting poses, and they all have scenic elements on their bases. You get 4 bandits with crossbows standing on 25mm bases. These are great because you don't often see characters with crossbows posed as though they are reloading. You can see this chap has got his foot through the cocking stirrup and he's ratcheting the Kranakin. I love that, and it highlights the time and effort it would have taken to reload a crossbow like this. Something a bit different, and that's good stuff. You also get 4 bandits ready to cave skulls with sword and board techniques. These have a solid action pose without being too dynamic, and again they fit on a 25mm base. The shields are good, they remind me of old Games Workshop shields like the ones from Advanced Hero Quest. I have to say though, the scenic elements on all of these bandits aren't up to scratch compared to other Epic Encounters miniatures. This chap looks like he's walking on a melted chocolate eclair. Next we have 2 elementalists on 25mm bases. There's a lot of character in these, little details that speak to the ancient rituals they used to control the mighty elementals. The posing on their legs is slightly awkward, but there is some nice movement in the cloak, and I like the runestone on a chain. The last of the smaller miniatures on 25mm bases are the Bandit Twins. You get 2 of these and they are identical. Making them twins is a genius cost-effective exercise. Well done, whoever came up with that. Also, I have to point out, these are called the Villain Twins, spelled V-I-L-L-O-N. That is a little bit on the nose. Love the sculpt though, really dramatic and flamboyant, and making good use of a classic tactical rock. There is a presence to these, a sense that, yeah, they do have the charisma to organise a horde of villainous scum. Next we have 2 lancers on 50mm bases riding mountain goats. These are great, and it's a really fun concept. The flip side of that is these are likely to be less useful than the other bandit miniatures, as you are probably going to have fewer instances in your adventures where it makes sense for people to ride around on goats. These are cool though, and the goats do look like you probably shouldn't mess with them. In addition to the 2 lancers, you also get 2 archers on mounted goats. Something to note here is that the goat and the legs of this miniature are the same as those on the lancer miniature. Steamforged have been a bit sneaky and just swapped the rider's upper torso. That's pretty clever because it saved a lot of sculpting work, and at first glance it isn't immediately apparent that the miniatures are almost identical. The last two miniatures in the set are the mighty Earth Elementals. These hulking brutes are on 50mm bases and have an eerie quality to them. They are bipedal creatures made of rock, entirely inhuman, without anything you would recognise as a head or face. If your heroes have a couple of these stomping towards them, they know they are in big trouble. But that is it for the plastics, so next let's take a look at the battle map. The artwork on this is great, perfectly capturing the cold, harsh, mountainous terrain of the bandits' hideout. On one side you have a rickety bridge spanning a ravine with a frozen river below. There is a watchtower on the far side and a cave on the near side that looks like it could be home to bandits. But is it? The reverse shows two great pillars of stone surrounded by woodland with a small bandit camp in the bottom corner. This is beautifully realised, and there are two giant skulls integrated into the environment, one in the mountainous terrain and one barely visible under the ice. It's a bleak and foreboding arena for a final showdown. Miniatures and maps are fantastic. All of us Dungeon Masters want more toys to visualise our worlds on the tabletop, but one of the best things about Epic Encounters is it also gives you the tools and tricks to use those toys effectively. That's where the adventure booklet comes in. This starts with an introduction giving you an overview of how to use this pack, including how to scale the difficulty for parties at different levels. Then the book dives straight into the good stuff. There are 2 pages on the bandits, the backstory of this crazy cast of goat riding cutthroats.
Hello.
There is also a page of fun rumours about the bandits, little stories that may or may not be true, and which you can use to sculpt your adventure or else simply to put your heroes on edge. What exactly are they about to face? Are the villain twins telepathic? Are they secretly training assassins for the richest families of the realm? Next is a page of hooks. How are you going to embroil your heroes in this adventure? There are 5 ideas here, and you could lift one, combine them, or simply take inspiration from them to come up with something new. These hooks are accompanied by a gruesome, bloody piece of artwork that leaves you in no doubt to what kind of men you are dealing with here. This is followed by a section called The Hunt, which contains the rules for running an encounter on the bridge spanning the frozen river. Here you will find information regarding the environment and how many bandits you will face in the first skirmish. The idea here is that you will face one of the villain twins who is watching from the tower while his underlings try to run off the heroes, and then reinforcements will arrive as the battle continues. Of course, you can change up that format as required for your own story. This section goes on to give detailed information regarding important regions on the battle map. The 4 places of interest are the cliffs, the log bridge, which may not be as safe as it first appears, the frozen river, and the welcoming cave. There is also a section on how to deal with the aftermath of this battle, including what should happen if the heroes do manage to kill the villain twin. Not surprisingly, the remaining villain will not be best pleased and will make it his priority to deal with the heroes. Moving on, we have a section dealing with the second encounter on the second battle map, the place between the pillars. Again, there is more information on the location and a list of enemies and reinforcements that may come into play. Then there is more detailed information regarding the main landmarks, the twin pillars, the small camp, and that gigantic skull in the rocks. There is also a small section on the aftermath following the battle. The villain twins are not messing about, and the hero should expect a fight to the death. And even if they are victorious, it may not be the end of their problems. As it states, as the last bandit dies, a strange voice is carried on the breeze. You've killed all my friends. Now I shall eat you in vengeance. The manticore is about, and it's hungry. Yes, this Epic Encounters box is a fully self-contained adventure, but if you want to, you can use it in conjunction with the Epic Encounters Cave of the Manticore set, which we will be looking at in a future video. For now, we still have more of the Camp of the Bandit Twins adventure book to get through, because next we have our 5th edition compatible stat blocks and rules. There are the bandits, that's the ones on foot with swords, and also the lancers that ride on the goats.
Hello.
The bandit bolt throwers. No mention of the goat riding archers with bows though, that looks like it might be an oversight. Still, it would be the same profile but using a short bow instead of the light crossbow. Next there are the goat mounts themselves. They are sure-footed and have a nasty charge ability. And then there are the bandit elementalists. 5th level spellcasters that use charisma and can use acid based defensive spells, as well as being able to call on elementals to wreck shop. And of course you get the rules for those elementals. Obviously they are very strong and they can burrow through rock and stone and tear down defensive structures with ease. Sending these against a fortified encampment would be a lot of fun. Finally, you have the Bandit Princes, the Villain Twins. These guys are formidable swordsmen. They save on dexterity +6, gain advantage on attack rolls while within 5 feet of each other, make 3 rapier attacks per turn, and they can challenge heroes to duels. While in a duel, the villains always strike first. Additionally, they have the parry ability that gives them a chance to block incoming damage as a reaction. If you don't have a superb weapon master on your team, it might be a good idea not to get into a duel with these guys. But that is it for the rules. The rest of the booklet comprises credits and licensing agreements, but I think there is more than enough packed into this booklet as it is. As I said before, I am a big fan of the Epic Encounters range. I like the miniatures and the books are always useful. I am not a fan of paper maps in general, but these ones are good. The art is always well done and the paper is quite sturdy and has a matte finish that prevents a lot of glare. Overall, a good set, and if you are looking for some bandits to test your heroes, this is a good option. The Camp of the Bandit Twins is available right now, and I should note that when this video goes live, Gen Con 2024 will be in full swing, and Steamforged Games are offering 20% off selected Epic Encounters lines on their official web store, which of course I will link to in the video description below. I'm not sure how long that sale will last for though, so check before committing to a purchase. And I will leave it there for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really like this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.